Hi, I'm Carl Conrad and I'm part of the Australian Immigration Law Services team. We've been around for 23 years now, so we have loads of experience in immigration law and dealing with the Immigration Department. This channel is all about how visas work, how to get them, helpful tips, important updates, such as changes to rules, application processes, and more. If you want to live, work and study in Australia, you should definitely subscribe to our channel. If you are looking for your parents to become permanent residents of Australia, there are a number of different parent visa types available. If, however, you're looking for a successful outcome within 5 years, the only realistic choice these days are the contributing parent visas. To obtain a contributing parent visa, you need to pay a large second instalment fee, which is currently set at $43,600 per applicant over 18 years of age, and this fee may increase over time. Parent visas that do not require contributing payment take so long to process that they are not a realistic option. There is a chance that the visa may not even be granted in your parents' lifetime, especially if your parents are not very young. There is also a temporary parent visa, but this does not lead to permanent residency. This visa is a relatively new option and began accepting applications only in July 2019. Although it doesn't lead to permanent residency, it is still a good option to consider as it is the fastest way to get your parents to Australia on a parent visa. In this video, I'll be sharing more on the temporary and contributing parent visas. The Sponsored Parent Temporary 870 visa allows your parent to stay in Australia for 3 or 5 years. Your parent needs to be sponsored by their child who is residing in Australia and is an Australian citizen or an Australian permanent resident or an eligible New Zealand citizen. You can apply for this visa again after it expires for a total maximum period of 10 years. Currently, this visa costs $5,000 for the 3-year visa and $10,000 for the 5-year visa. Some upsides to the 870 visa. This visa is typically processed within 6 months, and that is pretty quick when it comes to parent visas. If your parent travels quite frequently to Australia on a visitor visa, then the cost of this visa starts to make sense if you weigh up the airfares alone. If your parents plan on staying in Australia and would not leave often, the more expensive 5-year visa may make more sense in terms of potential cost savings. Another upside is there's no balance of family test to be met either. The balance of family test required is for permanent parent visas, which I'll be covering later in this video. There is also no assurance of support required either, again the term that is applicable to permanent parent visas. Of course, there are some limitations to the 870 visa as well. The 870 visa is a temporary visa, and your parents will not have access to the government's healthcare system, and they are required to arrange for private health insurance. This visa will not grant the holder's work permission, which won't be a problem if your parents are already retired and plan to stay retired. Finally, the biggest catch is that your parents will not be eligible to apply for any of the permanent parent visas while they're holding the 870 visa. If you're okay with your parents visiting for a maximum of 10 years, the 870 visa is definitely an option to consider. The contributing parent visas, the 143 visa and the 864 visa, are usually processed in around 5 years. The 864 visa is for those who meet the definition of aged parent. Aged parents who apply for the 864 visa while they're in Australia are issued with a bridging visa, which allows them to stay in Australia while their application is being processed. To be considered an aged parent, you will need to meet the age requirement of the Department of Social Services eligibility for the age pension. The way you calculate age eligibility is not straightforward, so we'll leave a link in the description for you to learn more about on their official website. In our experience, most people apply for the 143 visa, but this visa does not give you a bridging visa to remain in Australia while it's being processed. If your parents want to visit Australia during the processing time, then a standard tourist visa would be used, or you could consider the 870 visa. When applying for the contributing parent visa, there are two options you can take. One is to pay the entire contribution fee at the time the visa is about to be finalised. This will grant your parent permanent residency directly. Otherwise, you can split the process into two stages. This will allow you to split the huge contribution fee into two instalments. To do this, you would apply for the temporary 173 or the 884 visa first, and then apply for the permanent residence 143 or 864 visa later. On paying the first instalment, your parent will get a temporary visa valid for 2 years. When you're ready to pay the second instalment, you can apply for the second stage at any time during these 2 years and do not need to wait until towards the end of the temporary visa. This helps spread the cost of the visa process over a longer period of time. However, it does work out a little bit more expensive than applying for permanent residency directly. Your parents have to meet the following requirements. They need a sponsor who is at least 18 years of age, who is an Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen. The sponsor is usually the child of the parents, but where the child is under 18 years of age, an eligible relative or organisation may be accepted. Your parents will need to pass the Balance of Family test. To pass this test, at least half of their children must be considered as usually resident in Australia. The children also only count if they are an Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen.
Hello there.
Let's take an example where a parent has 4 children. To pass the Balance of Family test, the parent must have at least 2 kids who are Australian citizens, permanent residents, or eligible New Zealand citizens who are usually resident in Australia. If you have 4 kids, 2 of whom are in Australia but one is a permanent resident and the other is on a student visa, you would not meet the Balance of Family test. The Immigration Department has a good page on their website which will help you work out the Balance of Family test, and we'll leave a link in the description below. Like all permanent resident visas, they will also need to meet health and character requirements. So which parent visa is best for your family's needs? That's always a complicated discussion, and in my experiences focuses on some of the following concerns. 1. Is your parent ready to live permanently in Australia? 2. Do they intend to work for a while longer and not in a rush for PR, or do they want to be here ASAP? 3. Is the family ready to pay the large contributing parent fee in one go, or is more time needed to save up for it? 4. Is the Balance of Family test already met? 5. Will the sponsor need more time to meet the assurance of support requirements? 6. Are there any dependent children still to be considered for the PR visa, and will they still be under 23 when the processing is ready to be finalised? It takes time to consider carefully all of these concerns, and if you need help, we are here ready to talk you through the entire process during our consultations. You can book a consultation to speak with myself or one of my team members over Zoom, Skype, or the telephone. You can book in at australiavisa.com, and while you're there, you can check out our blog for loads more free information. We're also on Facebook, so come visit us and follow us there to get the full range of our updates. Don't forget to like this video to support our channel. As always, take care out there, and I'll see you next time, so bye for now.